Thanks for joining me in the basement. As you can see, things are coming along really nice on the temporary layout for this year. But time to wire up the accessories. Some people might look at this and go, oh, I don't want to deal with that. It's wiring, and electricity and all that stuff. Well, it's really simple with a lot of these accessories because most of them are just two wires. The power and the return, because we're dealing with AC. Alternating current goes both ways, but we're not going to get into how it works, but just wiring it up really simple. And the accessories where they have like an interruption, like on this sawmill, we don't want to have it going all the time, moving, every time we flip that transformer on, have the thing going all the time. That's just two wires as well, but then we interrupt one of those wires with a switch. So it's really easy to hook up. But let me just go through some of the basics, and I'll explain this rat's nest right now. The MTH Z4000, we actually have two extra terminals here, two sets of terminals for accessories. We've got, let me take a look here, 10 volt and 14 volts, so that's a kind of a Lionel thing. They've got their accessories run on different voltages. Or we could run an accessory off a variable voltage, but since we've got the track hooked up to both these, that wouldn't really work that great. And on the American Flyer one, we've got just 15 volts. We've got our base here, and our 15 volts up here. So what I'm going to do for lighting is I'm probably going to experiment, but my main goal is, and the reason I got so many of these bunches of wires and stuff, is because we've got a temporary layout here. So I wire it up, and then I put stuff away for the end of the year, and I wrap up my wires. So that's the reason for that. So my goal is to run a feeder wire over to a central point and then branch off of that. And how I do it with these bunches of wires without soldering and everything is I like to use these. These are small wire nuts, and that'll help out a lot. So let's make a connection so we can hook something up. So for my lighting circuit, I'm going to run it off the Z4000 because I plan on having this one turned on most of the time. The other American Flyer one's a little on the buzzy side, but for lighting, let's start off with 10 volts. We'll see how it looks, and then I'll make changes as I see fit. Even though these are red and black, it's all alternating current. Doesn't really matter which wire goes to what. There's a couple ways we can attach the wire. We can loop it around the post. There's a small hole in the side of the post we can push a wire through. There's also a banana jack we can plug right into the back. So lots of ways to do it. Now I've got three things over here I need to wire up. I got this American Flyer, what is this called? Just a little switch stack or something like that. Switch shack. That's just got a light in it. I've got the Greyhound terminal over here. Actually, I got four things. I've got a little Santa's hut over there, a little bear repair station, and then we got another switch tower. Switch tower, that's what they're called. Alright, so a couple ways to do this, but I got my feeder wire here. Let me just check the condition of our wires, which is pretty sad. So we redo the wiring on here. This is what happens when you got temporary layout stuff. Just chop it off, strip her down again. You want to get all your cut wires off the layout or bury them somewhere, maybe in this house here. Strip the wires, strip a fresh length off. And then we'll hook it up. Okay. Just twisting our wires together. with wire nuts, you can have multiple wires under there. This isn't perfect and it isn't permanent, so that's quite alright. Okay, turn on the transformer, Ian.
Alright.
And we've got lights. Woohoo! That's a little dark. But we're on the 14 volt on that circuit, so maybe I'll change the light bulb out on here. But it's a start. Probably can't even see it from where you're at. Let's turn off the light here. Yeah, there we go. It provides a nice little glow. Alright, and that's on the 14 volt circuit, I believe. Shut it off, please.
Sure thing.
Since I've got other stuff over there, I'm going to run my next wire over to here. And then see if we can... We can't tie everything in together, but it'll work. We'll figure out something. So let's find another suitable wire. And this is definitely going to get messy, but kind of what happens when you got accessories all over the place. If I had them really close together, it'd be easier, but... Okay. Now just to keep things nice, we could run it on top of the table, but we'll run it underneath. Alright, here we go here. Grab a couple more wire nuts. Same thing. See how easy this is, Ray? Piece of cake. Only teasing. Alright. Shut off my light here. Alright, turn on the power, Ian.
Got it.
There we go. Got our nice lights here. Got our nice chasing sign there, which is really cool. And we got our building lights on. So, on to the next project. Basically, I'm just going to run another set of wires over to there, and that's super simple. I will fire the camera up when we get to something a little tougher. Wiring up the station. Another thing I could also do with the power is I could run an additional transformer on variable voltage. That way I can control how bright some of these lights are, and I might do that. We'll see. But for this guy, it's pretty easy to hook up. We just got two wires. We're hooking up another length of double wire here, which you can use two single wires, no problem. And with this style, you just bend the tab down and insert the wire. Doesn't have to be perfect. Some wires miss it, no big deal. This isn't a high power device. As long as the wire stays in, and we're just going to give a little tug on the wire, make it a little longer here. Ideally, you want to go through both sides, but that's all there is for this, and just got a single light bulb in here. So I'm just going to run this one under the tracks. I do have the transformer on. Separate the wires out. Pull up our bundle here. Drop our bundle down. And now we've got lights in the station. Got lights over here in the switch tower, and we've got lights in the Santa teddy bear repair shop. And of course our Greyhound is still working. Now the Menards one, I will show you that next. Okay, so on the Menards building, on the box that it came with, it says it uses a 4.5 volt transformer. And in looking at it, it's got a little circuit board in there. So I believe the circuit board probably boosts the voltage to probably 12 for the rest of these. So I think it's probably got some headroom. So in my box here, I've got a box that's wall warts and power supplies and stuff. And for those of you electrically inclined, definitely worth saving these little deals for just such an occasion. I've got a power adapter here that's 5 volts, which is pretty darn close to 4.5, and I'm going to run with it. And because this doesn't have any motors in it, it's just strip lights that are in there. If something dramatic happens to it to get damaged, I could always replace them, so it's not that big a deal. So I'm going to find an adapter that'll work, or just wire it in. I'm not really sure what I'll do. We'll see. Let's see what I can figure out, because another advantage to having this is you've got all kinds of little adapters on these you can chop off. Not sure how well this will show up, but I went to Menards' website to check out the AC adapter to see what its output was, AC or DC. And it says it is 4.5 volts DC output. So I'm going to be good with the power supply that I got. So I just got to figure out that center is probably positive, and we'll go from there. So this is the adapter that I've selected. We've got a nice long wire on it, and it appears to fit. But I need to test which wire is the center of it. So, got my multimeter here, and we'll put it to continuity test. And when I touch two leads together, we hear a little beep. So, all I gotta do, put one lead in there. So this wire, it is on this particular model, it does have a white stripe. That goes to the center. So that's half our battle. What's the other half? Figuring out which one's positive on the transformer. So here's our transformer. Here's our wire. We do have a dashed line on here. And it doesn't indicate on the label what the dash line does, so let's plug it in and we'll find out. Now we got power here. It's only 5 volts, so I'm not too worried about it. Now we're going to put our tester to voltage. And on this tester it defaults to AC, so hit the select button to DC. And I've got my leads hooked up correctly. So if I don't see a negative on here and I hook up the wires, we should be able to figure it out. Let's move the camera and I'll show you what it shows. I'm going to hook up one to one lead, one to the other lead. Okay, we're showing a positive value, and I got the red on the stripe one on this particular transformer, but you always got to test them. Let's flip them around. Yep, there's the negative symbol right over there. So now we've got to see if it works, or if it works with the station. Alright, here's our station. Now I can use the plug in the back. Or there's actually a plug inside right here. So if you're going to permanently mount it on a layout. Alright, so I've already verified that the center plug there, the center of the plug is the striped wire. So we'll hook up a striped wire to our striped wire. Like I said, this is only 4 volts, so I'm not worried about burning myself or starting a fire or anything like that. And we'll just kind of touch it. There we go. That should work nice. A little on the bright side for me, but hey, that's okay. Alright. Now what we got to do is, we could wire net these together, but I'm probably going to have it be a little more permanent. But you know what, I'm just going to wire and nut them together. Why is that? For next time I set this up, in case I need a longer wire, I can insert wire in here. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm very impressed with that. On to the next project. Got everything hooked up. Wasn't too difficult to do. Just ran 2 extra power wires down, and we ran a wire over to the station on the right, and it's all tied in underneath and tied into our other main cable over there. Plenty of power coming over from the Z4000. I'm not worried about it. And I also, for this particular accessory, the oil well, I included a little sanity switch, and I wired it up in with the controller for the solenoid. So I just shut that off. Bubbler keeps going, which is what I like, but I don't hear the annoying noise. But, you know, if somebody likes it, we can just flick it, leave it on. Not a problem at all. And the American Flyer sawmill is up and running. This one is super easy. I wasn't originally going to hook it up this way, but they made it too easy for me. It only has 2 connections on the back, so just like anything else, we hook it up with 2 wires, and then a 1 wire interrupts one of the lines and goes to the controller here. But their controller is 2 wires coming in, 2 wires going out, so I decided to use it. I didn't have to, but it was just easier. Well, I hope you agree that that really wasn't too bad. Just stringing 2 wires around, not that big of a deal. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been Jeremy with Too Many Hobbies, and please enjoy this tour of the layout.